We are the Coalition for Juvenile Mental Health Awareness, and we wish to reform regarding sentencing for juveniles with mental illnesses.
Studies show that 65 to 70% of juveniles in detention centers have a diagnosed mental illness, compared with 9 to 22% of the general youth population. The 2014 National Survey on Drug Use and Health found that 11.4% of adolescents aged 11 to 17 had a major depressive episode in the past year. These diagnoses commonly include behavior disorders, substance use disorders, anxiety disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and mood disorders. Having a mental health problem while involved in the system can increase youth's likelihood of recidivating or engaging in another problem behavior.
Our main proposition centers around shorter sentencing for diagnosed juveniles and more pre-court screenings and assessment for charged juveniles. The purpose of screening is to identify youths who might require an immediate response to their mental health needs and to identify those with a higher likelihood of requiring special attention. The purpose of assessment is to gather a more comprehensive and individualized profile of a youth. We wish for juveniles to have a constructive type of punishment, focusing on rehab and reintegration into society.
Georgia toughed their juvenile justice laws in 1994, specifically with violent crimes. This sent some teens to adult prison. Around 2 decades later, new data analysis reveals that Georgia's juvenile system has produced just as high of a percentage of repeat offenders as adult prisons. Teen felony recidivism rates have been similar for both teens that spent time in youth detention centers or adult lockups. Though some Georgia policymakers have debated proposed reforms intended for a more rehabilitative approach for juveniles, some Georgia law enforcement leaders still believe that violent juveniles should be locked up, and there has been little progress with this issue. Clearly, many of our leaders do not take juvenile mental health seriously, which is exactly why we are pushing for reform and spreading awareness for these juveniles in need.
We are the Coalition of Juvenile Mental Health Awareness, and we approve this message.